Hey everybody, it's Miles here of Miles More Members. I hope this video series finds you well. In this video series, I'm going to share with you some really common sense, but not necessarily common practice ways that you can increase sales in your gym, that you can reduce the cancellations in your gym, without you doing any kind of fancy sales psychology. See, look, the old way of doing selling in the 1980s and the 1990s, I believe that is dead. I believe that the human person, the human experience is a lot smarter, a lot more intelligent, a lot more savvy. And so what I'm going to share with you in this video series is less about sales and is more about human behavior. Stephen Covey said it best. He said, if you want to be understood, seek first to understand. So if you're a gym right now that has all the members you could ever possibly want and need, this series probably isn't for you. However, if right now you know that you, in your honest truth, don't have as many members as you want, if you know in your honest truth that you're not helping people, you're not serving people the way you want, if right now you're a gym owner or a gym manager and you feel like there's another level, you feel like you want something that will enable you to really stand out and really differentiate yourself from the other gyms in the industry and in your town, city or space, then I believe this series is really going to help you. Here's what I will say though, just kind of a disclaimer before we get started. A lot of what I'm going to teach you in this series, you may have heard before. You may have heard some of this stuff before, but the question you want to ask yourself is not, have I heard what Miles has said before? The question you want to ask yourself is, am I actually doing what he said? Because here's the thing, you've heard the saying, knowledge is power. It's not true. You see, knowledge is only power if we use it. So you want to make sure that you ask yourself, not whether you've heard this or an adaptation of this before, hey, I can't hold a candle to the Tony Robbinses and the Les Browns of this world, but you want to ask yourself the question, am I actually doing what he said? And if you're not, then maybe perhaps you want to stay open-minded. So here's what we're going to do. Video number one. We're going to teach you in this video the 4 gym member personalities. Here's what I believe. Here's what I found to be true. That when it comes to people coming in the gym for the very first time, there are 4 different types of people. And what you want to do is you want to become almost like a practical psychologist, where you want to very quickly, within the first few seconds of meeting that person, you want to have a pretty good idea of what that person is like. Why? Because then you can tailor the communication to meet the needs of the person you speak to. And by the way, in the second video, we're going to be talking about that every single one of these personalities has 6 human needs. This is according to Tony Robbins, world's biggest kind of motivational speaker dude, right? I've done events on behalf of Tony. But I want to first start by kind of giving you an insight as to the 4 different types of people you want to be looking out for. Because if you do the same tour, if you provide the same experience, hey, if you're a personal trainer and you're watching this would be great for you as well. If you give your client the same experience and they're a different type of person, and by that I don't mean just age or gender, I mean the psychographic of that person. If you give that person the same experience every single time, if you treat every single person the same way, that might not work. And you might be missing out on a lot of people. You see, here's what I've learned. We're really good when it comes to sales. I love the term sales, but if you think about it, if we want to really help more people in fitness, we've got to facilitate change. And one of the ways to do that is we've got to sell, right? If you think of it like this, in sales I found, like years ago, I used to work for Dave Wright at Creative Fitness Marketing. Hey Dave, if you're watching, great education in terms of early sales and how to do it well and how to not do it, right? Is that I was very good at selling memberships to a certain type of person. And I won't give you any clues yet because I want to kind of share it for the video, right? I was really good at serving a certain type of person. And then there were other people that would sell to a different type of person. And I would be like, how did you do that? Because I found them to be difficult or challenging. And once I learned this, I was able to convert a much higher amount of people. I was able to actually sell to 100% of the people that I was seeing. In like a 6-year period, I sold like 20,000 memberships. And I found that it's because I understood these personalities. So let's get into it. Personality number 1 is what we call an earth If I can get my post-it note off. So what we call an earth personality, write that down. Earth personalities, you want to make notes, are very driven, very direct, and very to the point. So if you get an earth personality come in the gym, they may sort of say something like, I'm here for a tour, I've only got 5 minutes, I don't want your sales pattern. Now, if you're not an earth personality, you might hear that and think they're rude. They're not rude. They're just an earth personality. So what that means is, as Stephen Covey said, if you want to be understood, seek first to understand. You need to make sure that you tailor your communication to speak to an earth the way that an earth wants to be spoken. If it isn't your natural style to be direct and to the point, if you really do want to help this person, if it really isn't about you, it's about the people that you can help and serve, then you need to know how to speak to an earth person. So that's the first thing. Second personality is an air personality. So the difference between an earth personality and an air personality is airs need to know the details. So airs are going to be the kind of people that come through the door and immediately say, hey, how many treadmills have you got? What do your weights go up to in terms of kilos? How many car parking spaces have you got? Is it busy around 6 o'clock? Am I going to be fighting for a cross trainer at 7 p.m? Your showers, are they really hot or are they kind of lukewarm? They're going to want to know the detail. If I sign up and I move away, how easy is it for me to get out of my agreement? How do I cancel if I need to? They're going to want to know these details, and you may be a bit like, whoa, God, they want to know the small print. They are just a very detail-orientated person. So you need to make sure that you speak to them in regards to the details. Okay? Hope you're finding this useful so far. Next personality is what we call the water personality. Now, the water personality, they are a person that will make a buying decision to join or not join your gym based on how they feel, based on whether you make them feel good. If you've ever heard that saying of a person, or maybe you've said it yourself, I just don't get a good vibe about that person. That's the feeling part. By the way, we have all these elements inside of us, just in case you're curious. You're like, I think I'm a bit of that and that and that. So how does this work for me, Miles? We have all of these elements inside of us, but what might happen is a person may come in for a tour and they're more likely to be in one or two more dominant elements, okay? So feelings, intuition. So you've got to make a person feel comfortable. That doesn't mean you've got to put your arm around them. That might not be a natural style, and they might not want that too. That might be an overstepping of the boundary. But you want to make lots of eye contact, handshake. If they have a name. Let's delete that part from the video. You want to use their name. And by the way, here's how I found it's really easy to sell to a lot more people in the gym, is I make sure that I'm direct and to the point, that I tell them the details and I build massive rapport and use their name. Because it means that just in case I've got it wrong and they're not earth and they're more water, it means I've ticked all of these, okay? And then the last one is what we call the fire profile, the fire personality. These are people, they need it to be fun. If you've ever had a person come in the door and they've never been there before and they're like, hello everybody, I'm here. You're like, you've been here before? That's the fire personality. I've worked in so many gyms. I've worked in like 120 gyms over the past decade, 2 decades. When I walk in a gym for the very first time and I've never been there before, because I'm so comfortable in gyms, like my mum was a manager of a gym for 19 years, because I'm so comfortable in the space, I often get people that are regular members of the gym saying, do I know you? Like I had a guy the other day, do I know you? Have you been a member for a while? I've never met you. I was like, no, and I explained, I'm just comfortable because I've been in the gym world since I was a kid, right? So the fire profile is really enthusiastic, energy. They need it to be fun. They're probably the people that are most interested in group exercise because they want that connection, they want that camaraderie, they want that feeling of being connected. So these are the 4 elements. We're not going to spend more time on them today. If you've enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next one. So I'll see you on the next video. Take care.